Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in the English reading of the Quran, translation and commentary by Abdullah Yusuf Ali, published by the Islamic Propagation Center International in Durban, South Africa. So today we are busy with chapter number 16 and part number 5. So chapter 16, part 5, and there are magnificent signs of the Creator, evidence in this chapter that the Creator exists and that God, most merciful, does indeed exist, because everything in nature points to the Creator. So every ayat in nature, everything is nature, points to the finger of La ilaha illallah and points to the concept of Tawheed. Right, let's continue with chapter 16, part number 5. Excuse me, astaghfirullah, auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. To those who leave their homes in the cause of God after suffering oppression, we will assuredly give a goodly home in this world, but truly the reward of the hereafter will be greater if they only realized this. They are those who persevere in patience. Sabr, 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 sabr. They are those who persevere in patience and put their trust on their Lord. And before thee also the messengers we sent were but men to whom we granted inspiration. If you realize this not, ask of those who possess the message. We sent them with clear signs and books of dark prophecies, and we have sent down unto thee also, Muhammad, the message, that thou mayest explain clearly to mankind what is sent for them, and that they may give thought. The Quran keeps on telling us to think, ponder, contemplate. Don't just read it, but think about it, pause, think, contemplate, ponder about the signs of the Creator Supreme. Do then those who devise evil plots feel secure that God will not cause the earth to swallow them up, or that the wrath will not seize them from directions they little perceive, or that He may not call them to account? Or that He may not call them to account in the midst of their goings to and fro, without a chance of their frustrating Him, or that He may not call them to account by a process of slow wastage, attrition, for thy Lord is indeed full of kindness and mercy. La Ra'ufur Rahim. Do they not look at God's creation, even among inanimate things, how their very shadows turn round from the right and the left, prostrating themselves to God, and that also in the humblest manner? And to God doth obeisance, that means prostration, all that is in the heavens and all that is on earth, whether moving living creatures or the angels, for none are arrogant before their Lord. I don't know if this is a verse of prostration. I don't know about that. Allahu Akbar, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Allahu Akbar, right? They all revere their Lord high above them, and they do all that they are commanded. Right, now let's look at the rhythmic commentary and prose from verses 51 to 83. And remember, there are 128 verses. So we are more or less about halfway through this magnificent chapter, the Surah Nahl, the bee. There is but one God. This is Tawheed. This theme goes through the entire Quran. God is one. There is but one God, He who gives all blessings to man and other creatures. His greatest gift is that He reveals Himself, but in many tangible ways He cares for man and provides for his growth and sustenance, in rain, in milk, in fruits and honey, and in nature, and in the life of man, with his opportunities of social growth, moral growth and spiritual growth are signs for those who understand. Why then does man show ingratitude by going after false gods and forgetting God? Why? Right, let's continue this. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. God has said, "Take not for worship two gods, for He is just one God." This is again La ilaha illallah. This is Tawheed. God is one. Ilahu Wahid. Wahid, one God. Then fear me and me alone. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and on earth, and to Him is duty due always. Then will you fear other than God? And you have no good thing but is from God. That means every good thing that you have comes from the Creator. And you have no good thing but is from God. And moreover, when you are touched by distress, unto Him you cry with groans. Yet, when He removes the distress from you, behold, some of you turn to other gods to join with their Lord, the Creator Supreme. And when you do that, that's known as shirk, yushrikun. As if, and this is the greatest blasphemy, right? So we stay away from that, because God is one. We never put partners with Him, right? As if to show their ingratitude for the favors we have bestowed on them. Then enjoy your brief day, but soon will you know your folly. And they even assign to things they do not know a portion out of that which we have bestowed for their sustenance. By God, you shall certainly be called to account for your false inventions. Let me read that again. And they even assign to things they do not know a portion out of that which we have bestowed for their sustenance. By God, you shall certainly be called to account for your false inventions. And they assign daughters for God. Glory be to Him. Subhanahu, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah. And they assign daughters for God. Glory be to Him. And for themselves, sons, the issue they desire. When news is brought to one of them of the birth of a female child, his face darkens and he is filled with inward grief. With shame does he hide himself from his people because of the bad news he has had. Shall he retain it on sufferance and contempt, or bury it in the dust? Ah, what an evil choice they decide on. To those who believe not in the hereafter applies the similitude of evil. To God applies the highest similitude, for He is the exalted in power, full of wisdom. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. Aziz, exalted in power, Al-Hakim, full of wisdom. Join me in the next episode, which is part number 6 of chapter number 16, which is chapter Surah Nahl, the chapter known as the bee. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.